morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Myself Vaibhav. In today's session of Market Movers, we will be considering the Euro USD going down lower towards 1.11 zone. And here in today's session, we saw sell-off starting from 1.125, and at one point in time, it made a fresh low closer to 1.120. But from those levels, it is trying to recover. But I think this bearish trajectory is likely to hold well, and we will see further sell off in next few sessions. So we will see if we can profit from such a scenario. If you consider the trading context for the day, we got a lot of data earlier in the day as well, and you can say it's a PMI day as we had PMI releases for many major economies starting from China. If you consider the China's PMI numbers, they are best for last 6 months, and now unexpectedly the Chinese PMI numbers have risen to 51.2%, and it is better than the expectations. And later on, we also got the retail sales numbers for the Germany, and here also we are seeing substantial improvement. And compared to the decline of 6.5% in the month of April, for the month of May, there is a huge rise of 13.9%. So all these data which we have got so far in today's trading session have been on the positive side, and it has helped boost the sentiments, though we saw some sell off in the initial hours of today's European trading session. From those levels now, most of the equity indices, including the US equity indices futures, are recovering and getting back towards their high levels for the day. And later on, we will also consider the Nasdaq, in which we will see the bullish sentiments and how the Nasdaq is likely to rise towards its all-time highs even from the current levels. Moving on to the North American trading sessions, we are scheduled to get this ISM manufacturing PMI data, and here also for the US, we are expecting a rise towards the levels close to 50, not exactly 50 or above 50. Above 50 will suggest expansion. So here for the month of June, the PMI remained in the contraction phase, but it is getting closer to 50 zone, and this is the best reading which we have seen for this will be the best reading. Actually, we are yet to get the data release, so, and it is being expected to be the best for at least last 3 months. We are also scheduled to get the EIS crude oil inventory data, and here also we are seeing the drawdown in the US oil inventory for the WTI crude, and this will be first drawdown in long time, and we are expecting almost around 1 million barrels of drawdown for the last week, and we have seen drawdown in the API crude oil inventory data as well, and that is likely to be followed soon by the EIA's data. Later in the day, we also be getting the FOMC's monetary policy meeting minutes, and as expected, we have already seen the reiteration of the monetary policy stance by Mr. Jerome Powell in yesterday's testimony. So we are not expecting any big surprise or big move in the financial instruments post the release of these minutes, but still you should watch out for and never take the FMC minutes release lightly. Now moving on to the technical front, we will cover the Euro USD and the Nasdaq. Let's start with the Euro USD's technical outlook first. This is the daily time frame chart, and after making high closer to 1.14, the Euro USD has been consolidating in this range of 1.14 to 1.12. We saw it rebounding sharply after making low closer to 1.115, and it even went on to make a high closer to 1.135, but it didn't really sustain at those levels, and now it is back towards 1.120. In today's trading session, we are seeing renewed selling pressure after yesterday's range bound move towards this 1.125 zone. And I think now the bears are taking hold, and we will see further move down, and that's why the title is Euro USD can decline towards 1.11. So here the immediate target will be this immediate swing low, which is there around 1.115, the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement of its rally from 1.07 to 1.11 1.14, and then further lower we will be targeting the area closer to this 50% of Fibonacci retracement. And if you consider the lower time frame charts, here the regression curve now has bent on the lower side, and also if you consider this month's pivot point series, the price action is starting just little below this month's central point, and these both these indicators are pointing to the bearish trajectory. And then if you consider the first support zone, then it is coming into play around 1.108, which is tad below 1.11, which is the price level we are targeting. So all these indicators taken together are pointing to the bearish sentiments, and that's what we are trying to do. We will be trying to bet on the lower side. We will be betting with the trend, and for that matter we have to of course optimize our risk reward ratio. So for pinpointing the entry and exit points, we will have to rely on the hourly time frame here. And if we consider the today's price action, then of course we have now fresh formation of this swing low, which is lower than the prior swing lows. So that kind of indicates the fresh break on the lower side, and I think unless and until we see a fresh swing high being established above 1.126, this bear hold is likely to get tight, and we will see further move on the lower side. So for us to get involved on the short sale side of the trade, I think the price zone closer to 1.123 to 1.124 should be good enough. And as I said, the stop loss can be kept just tad higher than this prior swing high. So a stop loss of around 1.127 should be good enough. And as I said, we can target on the lower side the price zone of around 1.115 for the initial target zone, the first target price, and then we can even think about keeping open the partial positions for the next target zone of 1.11. So those are the target points which we are banking on. And as I said, on the upper side, any move beyond 1.127 is likely to tilt the buyers towards the bullish side, and that is the zone which we are looking at on the upper side. And this confluence of 50, 100 and 200 SMA, which is there in between 1.1228 to 1.124, is going to be of due importance for us. And as I said, we can target an entry point anywhere between the price band of 1.123 to 1.124. Moving on to the Nasdaq's technical outlook, we have to see this substantial rally, and just if you consider the quarterly data, the last quarter was the best quarter in almost 20 years for the US equities, and you can easily see why that was the case. We have seen these kind of moves in which the Nasdaq has rallied from the lows of 6,600 to almost above 9,900, which is the 50% of its whole gains. And now even if you consider the current mood in the US equities, it is still bullish, and after making low closer to 9,900 and 9,800, closer to 9,800 zone, we are again seeing renewed buying momentum. In yesterday's session, we were considering the possibility of Nasdaq moving lower, but that didn't really turn out well, and we had a break above the stop loss area. So suppose if any of you had gone for that trade, unfortunately it might have ended in loss. But now I think the trajectory has changed and we should no longer be targeting the short sell trade. Instead of going for a short sell, I think these are the times when we have to look for the buying opportunities. And as I said, we are indeed seeing bullish momentum in US equities, and that is likely to help the Nasdaq also move higher, and we can expect the levels close to 10,500 being reached in next couple of sessions. So we are actually betting on new all-time highs being established in the Nasdaq. If you consider the Nasdaq's, I think I missed out on including the Nasdaq's 4 hourly chart, so pardon me for that. So we will be skipping directly to the hourly chart for the Nasdaq, and here there is a confluence zone of 50, 100 and 200 SMAs, which is there above the 10,000 zone, and I think this can be the price levels to go for fresh positioning, but it will be pretty tough for us to get the entry closer to that. Even in today's session during the European trading hours, we have already seen this decline of almost around 100 points, but it quickly evaporated, and we have again this price action moving higher. So we have to watch out for further gains. And now that we have this establishing of fresh swing highs, and the support zone is going to be around 10,000. So as I said, we can target the 10,500 price levels for our next move, and any entry point closer to this confluence zone of 10,000 would be an absolutely wonderful development, but even I am not sure if that is going to happen in today's session or not, looking at these sentiments which are prevalent in the Nasdaq right now. So if you are willing to take the risk, then maybe even going for a market open order is a good enough idea. Otherwise, I would suggest that you should watch out for the any possible move on the lower side toward this support zone, the area of interest for us. And then with stop loss coming in around 9,900, only the risk of around 100 points on the lower side, you would be getting a good deal. And then, as I said, we can indeed target the 10,200 zone, which is closer to the immediate swing high. So suppose if we get any correction and then consolidation closer to this zone, then that's a wonderful development. Otherwise, you will have to enlarge your stop loss level and a price zone entry point anywhere close to the today's swing low. Today's low is also a good bet to take on, and then we can target the 10,300 zone on the upper side, and the stop loss is likely to remain the same. So in that scenario, the risk reward ratio is not going to be 1 is to 2, it will be fairly close to 1 is to 1 or just little better than that. But then we have this bullish momentum in the Nasdaq, and I think because of that we can indeed bet to profit from this sentiment equivalent in the US equity indices. So that's it from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write it in the comment section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. Have a fabulous day ahead. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.